It may feel cold outside, but the feeling in your home can be warm all year long with just the flip of a switch. Change the aesthetic in your home by changing your light bulbs and a few other simple swaps. My next guest will share easy ways to make your home more warm and more inviting this winter season. Designer Joseph Ward is joining me to share his decorating tips and styling tricks. Great to see you, friend.
Good to be here.
It's so funny how we're smack in the middle of winter, plus we live in Utah when winter can go to May in some years, but we're tiptoeing in our mental state towards spring. Anyway, albeit we have a lot of cold left, and you say our homes don't have to feel that way.
No, they don't. And you would think I'm obsessed with light bulbs because that's like all I talk about when I come on here. But they play such a big role. So you want to warm up a space, you gotta have warm light bulbs.
I don't think you're obsessed. I think we're obsessed. When a designer like yourself starts to talk about light bulbs, for some reason we all get geeky. But we know it can make a difference, right?
Oh, it's a huge difference. You know when LEDs, when we switched to LEDs?
Yes.
Like the first color they came out with was that blue. Like that's all they came in, if you recall. And they were awful, just blue, bright, white. But you know, so people start putting them in their homes, and oh my gosh, it's been awful. Especially if your home is pretty white, which is trending, right? I want it light, it's bright.
White cabinets, white walls.
I put in these light bulbs that are like blue. It sucks the life right out of you.
You're living in a science lab. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. What light bulbs do you recommend?
So I recommend very warm light bulbs. Just speaking generally, I'm sure there's some exceptions, but when it comes to I like a light bulb that brings warmth, like a flame, like a fire, you know, and actually it's been proven to have dinners around candlelight has this huge impact on the family and stuff like that. So you can imagine, so anyway, the colors and the tones have a big impact on how you feel.
So we're looking at what, a Kelvin bar graph?
Yeah, Kelvin, yeah. So you can see on the far right, we have the super cold blue, you know, which we don't want to feel. That's the point of this whole spring thing, right?
Yeah.
And so if you go more towards the other on the left, that's where you get the warmer tones. So I say 2,700 to 3,000 Kelvin.
Okay. Your next point focuses on wood tones, but you say it can be in big or small ways. It doesn't mean you have to do a whole new floor here.
No, yeah. You could add details. So if you're like, oh, I want to add some details architecturally, it could be like, oh, I'm going to add some beams, some warm beams. And I'm going to say warm, especially if your home is white walls, you know, and things like that. Warmth is good. I wouldn't go too dark if you have white walls, because then you have this high contrast and it feels cool. So if you're going to have white walls, do a light wood. But again, gold. Think gold tones, honey. Those types of tones is what I would do. That's architecturally. Then even just in the furniture, you can buy a lot of pieces that have natural wood around them, and then decor and stuff like that, just pieces that have natural wood. Or again, woven products, just natural, something I would find in nature opposed to synthetic out of a factory.
So if your eye is scanning, let's say the living room, and it's feeling cold or it's feeling over-styled or over-formulated, I'm looking for wood tones kind of across the space to see where I can bring the texture or the tone.
Yeah, and other natural products, weaves, loops, things like that.
And do they mix well? I mean, when you're looking at all the different colors of, I'm thinking of woven baskets, for example, compared to a wood floor. Those all just go, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, you do want contrast, but it doesn't have to be high contrast. They don't need to match. You know, sometimes that's your thing. You're like, oh, I want it to match.
Yeah.
Don't worry about matching. Just worry about coordinating.
Yeah.
So, in fact, you don't want them to match, generally speaking.
You're talking to a former matchy-matchy girl, but I have changed my ways.
You changed your ways.
Yeah,
Good for you.
I know. I need a gold medal or something. We hear this a lot, but it always helps to see it in action. So explain to us how texture and layers will help warm up a space.
Okay, so if I'm creating more of a formal space, I typically limit the layers. It's just like a rug. It's a pillow. You know, it's really formal, really clean. And frankly, textures will be pretty minimal. I want it to be a little, again, cleaner, tidier. If I want something to feel warmer, I will layer it. And I'll say I'll put a rug on a rug, if that makes sense. I will put
double rugs.
Double rug. I always do that.
That
I
feels
love
wild.
That. It does feel wild.
Okay.
I'll use a big rug to define the space, usually a sisal rug or a jute rug or a synthetic that looks like it. Huge, just to define it. And then I put the one that's oh, my favorite rug that comes in 8x10, or you know what I mean, these typical sizes. Yeah. Then I put that on top of it. And then also use throws and pillows. So again, like I said, if I'm doing very classic, tailored, I'm not going to have a throw just kind of thrown on my couch, you know. But if I want something more comfortable, I will throw it on my couch and I'll put a pillow on the throw. You know, I'll do layers. I'll do a mirror behind the sofa. I'll do a plant in front of the mirror. And you know, it's layered.
Speak to the mirror as a layer. That's an interesting, I think, design technique that the average at-home decorator doesn't think about.
I love it. I use mirrors a lot, especially if I'm designing smaller homes. But even spaces where I feel closed in, even if it's a large home and I feel like I've got cabinetry on one side and it's kind of like boxed in, I'll put a mirror. So when it comes to layering, I did this one home. I think we have a shot of it here in one of them. But it was she had this massive mirror. We put it behind her sofa, not like on the floor, off to the side. You know what I mean? Kind of like, and we balanced it with a lamp and art and stuff on the wall. But it added depth to an otherwise small room. It's like, it looks like you're looking through a doorway, right?
Yeah,
It's like, well, what's going on there? So your eye doesn't stop, it keeps going. And we put a plant in front of that, so you saw all this greenery,
Awesome.
you know, like double plants, but it was really cool.
I think that's a fun a trick to think about, because we can easily, you know, toss the throw on the couch, but the mirror you're describing in almost the same way. I mean, different application, but it becomes that layer or that extra piece that bounces the light off and plays a really cool role in a space.
Yeah, and again, not hung on the wall, I'm just placing it.
Yeah, just
setting it back there behind the couch, kind of behind the couch a little bit, kind of not.
Yeah. Very cool. Joseph, thank you so much. It was fun to see some of your art and your work in action as well. Where can we learn more about you?
Homewarddesign.com and Homeward Design on Instagram.
Okay, we'll link you over from our website, adding warmth to any room in the house. Small and easy ways to do that. Thanks again.